Is this just the start when it comes to Near? Well, hypothetically, I like to maybe say yes, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and even though nothing I say is financial advice, this is just my personal opinion. And the reason why I think this maybe could just be a taste, just an appetizer, is because if we take a look at it, yes, Near has had an almost 130% recovery in the past 30 days. So the recovery has been over 100%. But if we take a look at it historically speaking, if we zoom out basically, did you know that Near, as of right now, being at around $2.90, that is basically Near at levels in which we once saw back in February of 2021. And back in February of 2021, does anyone think that Near was popping? Not necessarily. I mean, it was doing okay, but it wasn't doing good. So if we consider that, right, Near actually historically, even with this impressive recovery, is still at somewhat kind of low territories, again, historically speaking, based off the charts, which I think, if anything, kind of indicates that historically, this could just be the appetizer. Because if we take a look at Near, for instance, keep in mind, its all-time high is around $20. So clearly, we're still around 7 times lower than that. So again, Near still actually historically very far away from its peak. And again, this recovery has been very impressive. Now, what did I think caused this recovery, primarily speaking? Well, it's because I think that some of that AI narrative when it comes to Near is starting to kind of showcase why it really does matter. Because when it comes to AI in regard to stocks, it's been very impressive so far. Take a look at SanDisk. And even if we don't take a look at that, if we ignore NVIDIA and stuff like this, we just have to consider the hype when it comes to AI was so impressive when it comes to stocks that even a shoe company, and I'm not joking, a shoe company called Allbirds announced that they were going to be focused on AI, and we suddenly saw the stock price just jump like that. Now, there's been a decrease ever since the hype kind of cooled off, but I'm saying still, even a shoe company announcing that they're focused on AI caused that. So we sometimes have to consider that. And we're beginning to see some of that kind of trickle in to this space. Now, has it been like a full on sort of attention season for AI projects? Nah, not really. I mean, it's just kind of been Near and some other projects, but that's really about it. Hasn't really been like this broad sort of change when it comes to AI projects within the space. But we have to consider Near is beginning to see a little bit of that taste, it seems like. Now, people like to say, but why Near though? Well, here's the thing we have to consider. When it comes to Grayscale's decentralized AI fund, guess who makes up the largest percentage when it comes to that? It's none other than Near. Near, as a matter of fact, makes up almost 50% of Grayscale's decentralized AI fund. We gotta let that sink in sometimes. That's really impressive. The allocation when it comes to Near in Grayscale's decentralized AI fund is bigger than BitTensor's native token called Tau. I'm not joking, and a lot of people would like to say, oh, but BitTensor is more popular. Okay, that's debatable, but at the same time, we have to consider Grayscale apparently, from what I can see from their decentralized AI fund, who knows, maybe they care a little bit more about Near. It wouldn't surprise me though. And people like to say, but when it comes to Near, why is this so impressive? Well, we have to consider Grayscale, in terms of their Bitcoin trust, they hold over 140,000 Bitcoin. That's not around $140,000, no. Over 140,000 Bitcoin. Really impressive, in my opinion. Now, people like to say, oh, but Michael Saylor, take a look at how much he's a fan of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy holds over 800,000 Bitcoin. Okay, I understand that, but still, it doesn't discredit the fact that Grayscale is still really massive, and if they have a decentralized AI fund and Near makes up the largest percentage of that, still, just 2 thumbs up for me. I think it showcases just how much Near is being recognized when it comes to its aspect in regard to AI. Now, people have to consider as well that the Near protocol is not necessarily a project that can't be equipped to handle something like mass-scale AI adoption. The reason why is because we have to consider the Near protocol has an aspect historically of something called sharding technology. What is that? Now, through sharding, the network is split into multiple sections known as shards. Like, for instance, workload on the network, they're distributed amongst these different shards, and as a result, it becomes very scalable. What is really needed when it comes to some of these developers that are focused on AI? They want something that's scalable. That's the thing. They want something that could, scale to even bigger things. right? So Near actually has the infrastructure to support mass scale AI adoption. Other projects out there, I just don't really see it. I wonder how they're going to be able to support that. It's like, for instance, if someone came up to me and said, hey, this building, take a look at, we're going to build a 100-story building. But then how's that possible if the foundation is only for a 20-story building? It just doesn't make sense. The mathematics don't check out in that sense, right? So again, if it's for a 100-story building, the foundation needs to be for a 100-story building, in my opinion. However, when it comes to Near, I hypothetically believe that it has the infrastructure to actually support mass scale AI adoption if it were to come. We haven't seen it as of right now, but I'm just saying still. And we have to consider this. Back in 2022, when Near reached an all-time high of around $20, it was not known for AI at the time, generally speaking. It's not like at that time everyone was saying, oh wow, Near so focused on AI. It wasn't a big narrative. It was known for having an aspect of sharding technology. That was kind of it, basically. And it still reached around $20. So imagine now that it's more known for AI, if we see a hypothetical altcoin season, if maybe Near was like at 30, 40, or 50, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me considering that back then it was able to reach around $20 without even this mass AI narrative at all. That's the thing, right? So we have to consider if that AI wave really were to kick in, if let's say we do see a hypothetical altcoin season Near, it's waiting right there. And if it was able to reach $20 before years ago without being known for AI, what could it do if it's now known for AI? And then we do see hypothetical altcoin season and that mass scale AI adoption come into this space. Again, 30, 40, 50, that wouldn't surprise me. That's the thing. Keep in mind, we're still under $3 currently, but that's just a pure hypothetical. Who knows what will happen? We have to wait and see. But I'm just saying, this is just from what I noticed so far. And also, I think Near, through something called Near Intense, through the success of that, I think it also kind of contributed to the actual popularity of something like Near. So Near so far, been pretty impressive, in my opinion, in terms of its focus. But again, still being below $3, even though the recovery has been pretty impressive, this is kind of like minuscule in the grand scheme of things. So we have to consider that maybe the journey is a little bit just, beginning a little bit, who knows? Now, granted, are there going to be like no pullbacks? No, I don't think so. I mean, if we take a look at even Near previously in the past, to go to its all-time high, it had many ups and downs. So it's not like it's just going to be smooth sailing like that. And we haven't seen an altcoin season. Bitcoin, as of right now, has been having this big pullback. So again, Near, it's not like the movement is just going to be straight up like that. No, I don't think so. I think there might be pullbacks or something along the way, but generally speaking, I do like the narrative, and my mindset isn't exiting and entering like every 5 minutes, every couple of days. My mindset is holding, waiting, and dollar cost averaging once every month, basically. That's pretty much about it. So whatever happens when it comes to Near, I'm just going to still, just wait it out. I'll see what happens because I don't think I've seen an altcoin season. So I'm just waiting, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. My mindset is more years anyways. But again, this is just what I'm doing personally. And I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward when it comes to Near.